For me, taco in a taco tree. I like tacos. Tacos for me. Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you are doing great. We're going to talk about the great taco trade and what's going on in the stock market, because the stocks are, it's like a shuddering, a pausing. They're freaking out, man. We got bond rates rising. That's not good for mortgages. We've got gold. People are running into gold. That's awesome for us gold holders. And we've got people that are sitting back going, Trump's just chickening out. That's what the taco stands for. The taco trade stands for Trump always chickens out because of what's going on in the trade war, right? We also have Russia. You know, everyone's like going, what are they going to do after Ukraine went and did that wild drone attack well inside their border and attacked their strategic bombers? This is absolutely nutball. Steel and aluminum stocks right now are soaring because of the new steel and aluminum tariffs that have been put on imports. That part I like. Type 1 if you agree with what Trump's doing and understand the shockwave he's got to send. But at the same time, it's like we're on the verge of a stock market tanking because things aren't good. We're at that recession level. We've been in it during the whole Biden administration, and Biden had to just change the definition, but there's still a lot of really dumb people out there. Type 2 if you agree. There are a lot of dumb people out there. And that's not insulting them, it's just calling a spade a spade. All right, so a couple things I want to talk about. First, we are preparing to launch, people have been asking, we're about to launch the AI Stock Trader Pro class where, well, I don't even know what we're going to name it. We've been using too many pros in this stuff, but it's way more in depth than what we did with crypto, because there's so much more that AI can do with these stocks. Reading all these 10Qs, 10Ks, whatever, just, it's insane. So we are going to release that. If you want to sign up for the newsletter group is going to get a special discount code sometime later this week if you want to sign up for that, okay? So you get it for cheaper. All right, the story's at a zero hedge. I've got a lot to go over. Future slide on renewed trade turmoil as gold and oil spikes. Now, what's really interesting about oil spiking, obviously you've got the trade issue, right? The tariffs. But also, we're seeing all kinds of things from airlines to travel companies saying, hey, people are not spending as much. We're seeing inventories of real estate just exploding around the nation. There are fewer buyers, right? People are not spending like they used to. We talked about the Rolex indicator. It's been down for a while. Yeah, it briefly spiked because crypto spiked and all the crypto bros need a fancy watch. I get that, right? But there's these little tiny spikes that happen and drops, but you have to pay attention to the real big macro situation. It says here the U.S. equity futures are weaker along with Asian and European markets as the trade war escalates after the U.S. and China accused each other of violating the terms of their recent agreements, while geopolitical uncertainty weakened investor confidence. You know, it's really important to know too, there's nothing, let me say that there's nothing wrong with not spending your money for the next 90 days. Have you thought about that? Think about this. What would be wrong for the next 90 days if you went, you know what? I'd like a new car. I got the money. Why don't I just hold off? You know, we'd really like to go on that vacation, but why don't we do a staycation and maybe, clean up around the house kind of thing? Let's just hold off for 90 days to see what's going on. Because there's that term that most of you have heard. Have you heard of this? Yes or no? Type it down below. Sell in May and go away. It's an old adage that most of the, since most of Wall Street, goes on, summer vacations, the big money managers and the market makers, the big movers, they go in summer, they vacation, they're just not there, right? It's sort of like a lull in the market. There's not usually a lot of volatility, a lot of stuff that happens. So people sell in May, they walk away, and then they come back in the fall, usually to find some kind of correction. But my point being is that this, I think, is that time where, because of what Trump's doing, and he has to shock the system, he's got to make Made in America great again. He's got to really solidify deals, and it's going to be this sort of economic shock jock that's going on. It's better to just sit back, not spend a lot of money, and wait, preserve your capital for a move, whether it be to the upside or downside. And I'm going to be honest, hopefully it's the downside. I'd rather, most people don't think like this because they're speculators, but you make your money in stocks, you make your money in real estate, you make your money in crypto the day you buy something, because hopefully you're buying it at a low price. But most of the time, people just, race in because of FOMO, because they got a hot stock tip from their dentist. Seriously, I've seen that. Or, their coworker, and they FOMO in only to be exit liquidity for the smart money. That's why we're teaching people now how to build AI bots of their own to go out and look for information for them, to get the right information at the right time whenever they want, so that they can make smarter purchases. It's funny. I used to play a lot of Frisbee football at the fire station, and we had this guy, he was sort of a real dork. And I mean, he was just the cockiest guy ever. And he would always yell, smart passes, smart passes. And we're like, yeah, okay, copy. We're just over here making the dumb passes. Like, what does smart passes mean, right? And you're like, well, obviously it's the one where you throw it to the right guy and the right guy catches it. But just saying the term smart passes didn't get us anywhere. You got to make smart passes. Okay, Brainiac, why don't you explain it to us? Well, the thing is, when it comes to stocks, or houses, smart purchases, well, how you make them is you have a lot of information behind you to be able to make better, more informed decisions that other people don't. So I think that's really important. Of course, the street sweeper sees Ninja go live and he goes, oh, I'm just going to drive over there. That's just how it works. I'm sure there's a guy with a backpack blower just getting ready to rock and roll. But those of you that have your gold and your silver just blows me away. To me, it's still the most amazing opportunity because it's so suppressed. Like, look at the crypto market right now. You've got Bitcoin up over 100,000, and altcoins are just getting hammered right now. Just insane to me. Whereas they were exploding higher when Bitcoin was lower, right? And there are some that we own that, like, in the last 4 weeks or 5 weeks, are up 200-300%. And those are the times where you take your strong ones and you convert them into the weak ones, because honestly, the only reason why they're weak is because people aren't buying them up. And you're waiting for that moment where retail either panics into a market like crypto or panics into stocks, or they panic out of something, and that's when you're ready to buy. The whole point of being a ninja, an economic ninja, and let me ask you this. Just type ninja if you're starting to think like a ninja, where you're sitting back hiding, you've got all the power and authority when it comes to economics, knowledge, money, and you're just ready to pounce at the proper time. That's what very wealthy people do, and that's what I want you to do. My point being of this whole video is that the market is in this sort of pause as they're waiting for Trump to either do something or chicken out. And what has he done? Do you see massive tariffs just being hit? No. You see the threats and then the pullback. The truth is, when these things get put into place, if they do, you're gonna see a market panic. And that's just the truth. All right, I hope you got something out of this. The Economic Ninja is out.